This is 3FM.
I went into politics for the same reason as I'm carrying on, which is government decisions affect people, people matter, policies affect everybody's lives, and therefore I think I've got skills and I've demonstrated that I can apply those skills, experience, to actually help make the right decisions for people. Most of the Douglas Central issues are similar to the national ones, and also an important part of politics at the minute is breaking down the responsibility between national and local politicians. So for each of these areas I'm going to give you, national politicians have got to set the policy, and then they've got to work closely with Douglas Borough Council to actually implement it. So for instance, parking, roads, pavements, definitely we need attention in up the part of town I hope to have the privilege to continue to represent, and I'm hoping that I've worked to put in place infrastructure plans, new laws, to make parking and to make the roads better through time, through actually identifying priorities and then actually having a costed plan, which we'll discuss with the community to do that. Another important issue is schooling, because we've got a new school, Henry Bloom Noble, we've got school in Jubilee, which has only just formed, we've got Ballacameen and St Ninians in the constituency, and resources have been scarce in education. It's absolutely vital for people that we have proper education, and I hope to support the teachers to have a good learning environment for all ages. Likewise with health, we need the focus of health strategy is on putting attention more in the community, more with what they call allied health professionals. I want to make sure that we're getting adequate attention to that inside the community. Incomes for people. The social attitudes survey confirmed what I'd first brought to people's attention with the VAT research, which is that a third of the Isle of Man's people are not having their aspirations for income addressed, and in fact in many cases not sufficient income to cover the expenses. So that's absolutely primary to help people's income. We need to have good pension schemes as well, so that brings in another major issue. We also need to address the cost of living on the island, and that's where I've been working. I resigned from the Office of Fair Trading over the gas price issue. I've been very involved in trying to put in a different format the user agreement for the steam packet to bring down freight prices and even people travel prices, passenger prices. And we can carry on in that way through telecoms, through energy. So we've got to focus on income for people, cost of living, and if people have more income, they'll be able to pay a little bit more taxes to be able to provide the services that we need in education and health. The steam packet is obliged to provide an adequate service according to the user agreement till 2020, if nothing happens until 2026 if they choose to extend the user agreement. They're a good company with a 100-year plus history. Everybody who works for them seems to like them. They've got a lot of pensioners who are getting good pensions from the steam packet. All of those are factors that are important, but as well we have to understand that the prices that the steam packet charge determines inflation in the Isle of Man, because our goods, a lot of them come in by the sea. So we've got to do everything we can to actually keep prices where they are, if not reduce them. And I think the best way to do that is to make the owners of the steam packet understand that we're serious about this negotiation. I've always said that if we probably can't afford competition in that market any more than we can afford competition in the gas market, because it's very expensive to relay gas pipes into people's houses, for instance. But what we can do is we can make sure that there is competition for the market, and so therefore that's why I've been very keen not to rush into a new agreement with the steam packet. We want to make sure that we actually get the best for the Isle of Man consumers, as well as the people who work and the pensioners who receive pensions from the steam packet. I think since 2013 I've been focusing on less complacency in government and less celebration of successes, more realism. So at one point I got a bit of coverage because I said my role wasn't to boost the knockers, but it was to knock the boosters. And what I mean by that is, we can focus all we want on 30 years of economic growth and how we've got less debt than across, but that's not how people perceive it. How people perceive it is that a third of the people have insufficient income, and that we are slowly moving towards a worse financial position compared to what we were 5 or 6 years ago. So the biggest single thing that I would change is the way we communicate with people. We would actually be honest about our success, but also honest about where we need our deficiencies that we need to address. Public sector pensions, we made good progress in as much as we do now have a plan which has been agreed, and a negotiation that's been agreed will take place about the terms, and that's good progress. The National Insurance Fund is our jewel. It's the bedrock of future security for state pension and social security system. I do think we can have a better tax policy, and I have to give credit to Mr. Tier, because he admitted that we needed a new tax policy now, and the drip of charges is not the way that we can afford to go given social tensions. So these are all things that I would have done differently.
More music for the Isle of Man.
3FM.